Conservative radio host Dennis Prager has a theory about what led to the California drought. Let's listen.
We have real false gods today, because a false god, remember, is not simply something that people worship, but they know they shouldn't. Everybody knows they shouldn't worship money. But people don't. Therefore, it's not a false god. It's just a flaw that people might have in their character. But a false god is one you really do worship because you think it is godlike. And that's why I include, as an example, the worship of nature. The whole point of the first chapter in Genesis is that God created nature. Nature is subservient to God. Nature is created for the human being. Today it is the opposite. Where I live in Southern California, the reason we have no water is not because of drought. It is because of the worship of nature and for example, the incredible amount of water that is taken from humans in order to save some 6-inch fish. This is the worship of nature.
Dennis, I'll tell you that I think that we have, and not knowingly, I think we have gone back and we are worshiping Moloch and Baal.
Right. That's what I feel like saying anytime Glenn Beck makes a ridiculous point like that. You put on the contemplative face and you go, right. Make him feel like he's special for making such a special needs point. Glenn, you're a silly person. It's amazing that this guy amassed, this TV channel and this large media empire being as ridiculous as he is. Well, actually, it's not, because he's propped up by the right-wing think tanks and by corporations so that he can do the propaganda, and that's why he's in the position that he's in. But you can see right there, I think we're worshiping Baal and Moloch. If you polled the American people, how many of them would even be able to tell you who they are or what they are? That's a low percentage. Even though the majority of the American people are Christian, they'd be like, who, what, huh? Well, you think they all read the Bible? Just because they're Christian doesn't mean they know anything about their religion. They're just culturally, yeah, my parents are Christian, so I'm Christian. They don't know that shit. I think we're worshiping Moloch and Baal. Yeah, man, you nailed it. That's what we do here on Secular Talk as soon as we get off air here. I have a Moloch and Baal fest all day long, and that's what we do. I like Dennis Prager's point there, because this guy, he's viewed as like an intellectual on the right. He's like, it's not drought that led to California's water situation. Do tell more, Dennis. It's nature worship that led to it. Oh, yes, I know. The environmentalists are to blame. The thing about conservatives that's so silly is they don't even come up with plausible bullshit. It's not even like, hey, here's a line that's bullshit, but it sounds in theory like it might make sense. They take the thing that makes the least amount of sense and they push that as the argument. The environmentalists are to blame for the environment being in bad shape. Yes, the people who have been fighting every day for years to try to get us off fossil fuels, to try to stop dumping toxic chemicals and pollutants in the atmosphere, to try to make it so that people don't get sick, to try to make it so that our food isn't poisoned, to try to stop factory farming. Yes, those people are the ones who are responsible for a drought in California. Not a single mention of climate change, not a thought about climate change doesn't cross their mind. Extreme weather being tied to the climate changing, which leads to more extreme weather? No, there's no connection there whatsoever. What are you talking about? No, it's nature worship. It's environmentalists. It's the people who care about the environment and they're doing the right thing for the environment. They're the ones who are the problem. Not the oil companies, not the coal companies, not any of the fossil fuel companies, not the different companies that pollute. Not the people who are, the politicians who are pushing us further down the road of climate change. Not people like you, Dennis Prager. Yes, I know. It's the environmentalists and it's the people who worship nature. Nature worshipers. All 6 of them. They're the ones to blame.